5:30 in the morning. I'm losing track of what day it is, actually. It's been a rough go. I've had all kinds of little setbacks and glitches. Most recently, a few minutes ago, almost running out of gas. I'm down about 11 miles on my low fuel light, and I have no clue how far away gas is. And this station doesn't open for another 30 minutes, and I'm not going to chance it, so I'm going to sit right here and try to catch up on what's going on, because I haven't been able to post. I haven't really got very efficient with my netbook, and then to make matters worse, I broke my glasses, bought another set, lost those. Last night I tried to post, and I had a 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes of text that I'd written explaining and bringing everybody up to date as what I'd done. And somewhere along the line, moving my fingers around the keypad without my glasses, it all disappeared. Boom. And I couldn't find out how to get back to where I was, and I lost it all. And also the pictures. I had uploaded 230 files from the last 2 days. Actually more than that. And I uploaded them into the hard drive, and then when I went to upload them on PhotoBucket, every one of them failed. They're in the computer, but they failed. And then last night I was trying to put all the images in the same folder that says Pennies of Passion. So I highlighted the ones that I wanted to put in there, which was from yesterday and the day before, some of the best pictures we've had so far, which was everybody we rode through in Minnesota. All those cool people, all those great things we did, all the fun that we had. I highlighted it, and I was going to try to figure out, if it was on my Mac I could do it. Boom, boom, drag and drop. But I tried to figure out how to put it from where it was into the Pennies of Passion folder. So I highlighted it, and I guess without my glasses I must have hit backspace or delete. The buttons are probably that far apart, and I don't know which, but those disappeared. It just poof and it was gone. And I can't find them in the computer. I know it's there, and unfortunately when I uploaded them into the hard drive, there's a little box you click on that says delete after importing. So that I can automatically take more pictures the next day, I can check that box. Well, the card now says empty. I can't find them in my hard drive, and the card says empty. But it's not all bad. I can take the card to somebody who knows how to do it, and as long as I don't take pictures over those files, he can retrieve, or she can retrieve those images. It happened last year, and my son's brother-in-law was able to do that. So I took that card out, put a new one in, and I'm going to try again. So I'm going to say right now that I don't believe those files are lost, but it might take a few days to get somebody to retrieve them so I can figure out how to get them posted. But I hit a hell of a railroad track yesterday. It dropped and then went up, and it was real bright light, and the asphalt was well lit, and the asphalt on the other side of the dip was well lit, and the dip was the same color pattern as everything else. I didn't see any drop, and I hit that thing and heard a bad noise, and now it makes a noise whenever I hit bumps or take off kind of quick. And I went to the Yamaha shop in Yorkton, and they found that the upper belt guard had moved over and was scraping the inside of that saddlebag. He pried it over as best he could. It still makes some noise, but it's better than it was. And he also tightened my suspension. It was very loose. Tim at Beeline back in St. Joseph's offered to tighten it, and I was in a hurry and I didn't do it. I told him I kind of liked it. It was real cushy, but I should have taken his advice. Those guys are incredible anyway. Both Yamaha shop dealerships were great. The one here in Yorkton did all that to my bike, checked the oil, aired up the tires, set the suspension and said thank you very much, have a great trip, and no charge. And they took a ton of pictures. The guys all came out of the shop and took a lot of pictures outside, and they when it was inside, they all riding around the bike and taking pictures, and were real concerned and complimentary, very helpful. And Beeline was amazing. Tim, who I got up there and they immediately cleaned the bike up and went through it and checked everything out and did everything he could possibly do to it for the time we had, and had no part of accepting any money for it at all. It was all about helping out, and even made some phone calls to corporate about sponsoring my ride. Great people, and Black Chrome Spokes was the one who set that up at the last minute, and I want to thank my brother for doing that. It was a wonderful experience. I had a reporter there who did an interview and a story, and a photographer who took quite a few pictures, and I got a chance to spend some good quality time with my brothers there, and had a wonderful ride to and from there. Found out I lost my leather hat. Well, I left it at Cabela's, but T-Bird and Brian took off back there in the cold and got it evidently after hours, which is pretty impressive. The hat's got quite a history, 30 years literally. So it's still with me, and they're going to ship it to Slick in Alaska. I got to get some glasses so I could post as soon as possible. I'm going to get 3. They come in a package of 3. I'm going to buy 3 this time. And I probably will not select that erase after importing button anymore. And I'm probably going to find out from somebody how to go back. On the Mac I can do it. There's a thing that says undo typing. I can do that on the Mac. On this one I couldn't find undo typing anywhere. And even if I could find it, I couldn't see it. I took the broken glasses I had to, which was one lens here and one lens here, and I did the best I could to hang it all, one off each ear, and they kept doing like that and falling off, and I could see just enough to get a couple of words in, and then they'd fall off. And so I'm not as prepared as I should be. I've learned a lot about how little I know, and not being prepared. But it has been a great experience, and the people are incredible. Jazzy and Stephen were an unbelievable host. She made a breakfast bread pudding that I have to get the recipe for. Have some hilarious cats that are a lot of fun, and a beautiful home. Just as welcoming and hospitable as they could be, and wouldn't let me buy my food or gas at any time. Had some great rides that took us on some fantastic roads. Met up with Wolfgang the next morning, Wolf Raider. Man, that's an impressive bike, and he's quite the guy. Great guy, real funny. And looks like he's sitting in a Corvette when he's riding that bike. He just looks like he's so comfortable. And we went down to Perkins and met up with T-Bird and his gorgeous wife, Mary. And Brian showed up a little bit later, Minnesota Raider. And we had a wonderful breakfast. That was a great breakfast. And then took off and went on up to, let's see, I'm losing track. We took a ride, took some pictures, and then Jazzy and Steven had to leave, so we went on up to Cabela's, and that's where I left my hat out there. And that was a neat place. Bought some fishing line to sew my pins that are falling off. Some of the thread's getting old, but I didn't get a needle. I need to do that. And took off and went from there to St. Joseph at the dealership, and quite a few guys were able to sign that T-shirt and spend a little time together there while they cleaned up the bike, and did the interview, and took off again and got some gas and went out and met Brent and that big monster, just an unbelievable Raider that he's got with the 300 on it, and 2 of his friends. And we spent about 30 minutes talking there, and then T-Bird and Brian and Black Chrome Spokes had to head on back, and Captain Zoom was there as well. He met us at T-Bird's house. Yeah, what a beautiful home. Golly. That home needs to be in a TV program or a magazine. That is amazing. But those guys, Captain Zoom, who I think looks like a Mel Gibson, a young Mel Gibson, they all had to leave, so I went with Brent, Mr. Waves. I think the right way to pronounce it though is Mr. Wah. I really do, it's Mr. Wah. We all went north a little bit towards Fargo, and they broke off as they had to, and I went on. And didn't realize that Starkey was almost 100 miles further north than Fargo. For some reason, I always thought he was at Fargo, and when I got to Fargo and called, I still had another hour and a half to go. So I got there pretty late. It was about 10 o'clock when I got there, something like that. But him and his lovely wife, Mary, opened up their gorgeous home. Man, what a beautiful place. And I had dinner that night, and we talked for a little while, and I went down in this unbelievable place that they've got downstairs. I call it his man cave, and turned on the fireplace with the remote control, and we got a great night's sleep, and I cleaned up and left the next morning after Starkey himself fixed me breakfast, 2 breakfast burritos, and wished me well and offered to put gas in my tank. And I only had like 30-something miles on the tank at that time, so I didn't take it, but he did offer. He brought the can out. Wonderful people. And then went through customs, and maybe I shouldn't have been so honest when I went through them, but I told them my whole pass, and they pulled me over and they unloaded the whole bike, everything. They emptied out the glove compartment, the saddlebags, everything in that tea bag, all those pockets, under the bike, behind the fenders, up underneath the fenders, everything. And then said, thank you, have a nice day. So we left there, and then I hit the railroad track, and it hit some rain, got cold, went on in, didn't have a cell phone signal for hours, and when I finally got to the next Yamaha dealership in Yorkton, that catches me up to speed as to where I am now. But everybody that I met, everybody was great. All the riders, every single one of them were great. Wouldn't have any part of me paying for my gas or my food, and wonderful time spent with them, and I really wish that I could have spent days there. Minnesota rolled out the red carpet. There's some great people. I love them all.